can't finish. Our boys them all, they don't finish. From Manfred to Boya, from Bamenda to Southwest, no shade every day, oh, killing every day. People they die every day, like say they been a chicken. My people lay, prayer is the key. Oh, may we pray, oh.
Make we pray,
oh, make we pray,
make we pray,
oh, make we pray,
make we pray.
Ramagade, legede, oh, Rabosagade,
Make we pray,
Mika Brazandala, Jesus.
Make we pray.
Wonderful. Excellent. Good evening, wonderful country people. Good evening, Papa and Mamidam. Good evening, my fellow Ambazonians. I want to welcome you to today's edition of Amber Voice. Please, if you can, I would like you to click on your share button and invite someone to join us on this special podcast of Amber Voice with Mr. Nanchop. And I won't keep you waiting for so long. I want to send special greetings to those of you watching me from Ground Zero, our brave warriors and heroes, the defenders of homeland. I also want to say hello to our wonderful mothers and fathers, my papa and my mamidem, those of you watching me from the USA, those of you watching me from Europe, those of you watching me from Asia, those of you watching me from Ground 1, Ground 2, Ground 3, and most especially from Ground Zero. I want to say patriotic greetings, 21 gun salute to all of you. I bring to you this evening patriotic and revolutionary greetings from the Amber Voice platform. I no need to introduce myself again because I believe everyone watching me knows who I am. The no-nonsense man, the grinder, yes, aka German style, Mr. Nanchop. Papa and Mamidem, I bring to you a patriotic message from my heart because there are a lot of things that I personally think we should reflect on in this course of our liberation fight. You know, sometimes we've often said that should somebody not know where he or she is coming from, he should at least know where he's going to, right? And that's one of the things that I think in every journey in life, most of the times when we're faced with the challenges, we should reflect on where are we coming from and what's my aim? Where are we going to? What is it that motivated me to take upon myself this journey? Well, let me get some of your greetings on Facebook. I want to see we're having a lot of people that have joined us on Facebook. And oh, wonderful. Ebas, I can see you writing in German. You're always there. Thank you so much, Ebas. Guten Abend. It is not morgen, it is evening, so we say guten Abend. Thank you so much. Vivian is there. My beloved Vivian is always there. Thank you so much. I can see Mr. Thomas is there, says, I'm watching. Thank you so much, Emanuela. Good evening, Mr. Nanchop. She says, good evening, our able German still. Dankeschön. I also want to use this opportunity to appreciate those of our people at Ground Zero who wholeheartedly committed themselves to the obedience of the ghost towns that were announced by the interim government. It takes courage. It takes determination. It takes sacrifice. And most of the times, those in the diaspora think that they are the only ones sacrificing because they are giving in their money. They are supporting Ground Zero financially. But the truth is that even the mother who refuses to go to the shop or to open her shop on a ghost town day because she's obeying the commands, she's obeying the ghost town as her right to civil disobedience, it's sacrifice. She too is sacrificing something. You know, so we all are collectively sacrificing something for a better tomorrow. And in the course of this discussion, I'll be asking us two key questions. that I want you that is watching me right now to reflect on, to ponder upon these questions and let them sink into you. I know there are things you can relate to, but sometimes we just need some refreshment of thoughts, right? But before I come into that, I want to say, if you have a son or a daughter that is working with or in the La Republique military, it's high time that you take my advice. Tell your son or daughter to quit. I'm going to give you the reasons. 1, La Republique du Cameroon, as I said 2 days ago, they are fond of deceiving, using, and abandoning individuals or people or group of people. So what they would do is actually use your son to kill his own brothers and sisters to fulfill their genocidal plan. And at the end of the day, they will kick them off because La Republique du Cameroon has proven to us that they are no respecters of human lives. They will do everything. As a matter of fact, a dictator like Biya, who've been in power for over 40 years, don't forget, Mr. Biya, or rather say Dictator Biya, was in power for several years. He was the prime minister of that country before he became the president. And even in his days where he was the prime minister, he was already ruling the country. Somehow. See, Dictator Biya and his cohorts, they don't care about human lives. They don't care about anybody. They don't care about international law. They don't care. Dictator Biya feels he can bribe everyone. Listen, when Guterres went to visit him, what did he do? He gave him a piece of gold and the guy shut up his mouth. Ever since, Guterres has never addressed the genocide that is taking place in the British Southern Cameroons. Everyone in the world, the human rights organizations at ground zero, they are condemning the atrocious acts that are being perpetrated by the armies and soldiers of Dictator Biya. The United Nations has condemned it. As a matter of fact, they've termed it to be the genocide in the 21st century. So they are aware of this, but they are doing nothing to stop it. Can you imagine? You know, when it happened in Rwanda, the world said, never again. But today, in the 21st century, we are seeing these things repeating themselves in front of our eyes. Like a horrific movie, you know, like a horror film. But the world is silent. Why? Because of the corruption of the world, the corruption of the United Nations. But, well, that's not my topic of today. Now, I want to focus more on us, the Ambazonian people, because self-determination or to self-defense, so to defend yourself is a human right. It's something we all have the right to exhibit and execute. So we must embark on self-defense. And I'm going to give you a few reasons why that's very necessary and why you must not allow any enabler of La Republique to tell you that you should not defend your mothers and fathers that have been killed by La Republique du Cameroon. By the way, I started by saying that if you have a son, a relative, a brother, anyone that is working in the military of La Republique du Cameroon, of Dictator Biya, please tell him, tell her to deviate, to desert. And I'm going to give you the simple reasons. Let me put this on the screens for you to see what is happening right now. Now, you might say this is rumor, but I just want to put this on the screen from a news agent. Now, let me take off the. Let's take off the. Good. Now, see what is on the screen. This is from the La Republique government, from the government of Dictator Biya. This is the government of La Republique du Cameroon is in search of hundreds of deserted soldiers. Authorities are requesting that the soldiers' salaries be suspended and their cases handled by military tribunal. You can go ahead and read it, but if you go down, you get the subtitle again. Government in search of hundreds of deserted soldiers. Okay, let me tell you what is happening. I told you a few days ago, Ambazonia has defeated La Republique du Cameroon. It is not in a present continuous tense. No, it's not like we are defeating them. No, we have defeated them. We have crushed them. La République du Cameroon has been crushed by Ambazonia. The forces of dictator Biya have been crushed by Ambazonia. If you see a trained army like that of dictator Biya going out there to kill school children, to kill widows, mothers, children, just to gain international sympathy, because you know what they did in Kumba was actually to gain international sympathy. They used it to try to manipulate the international community as though they are victims and they need help. But if they were militarily able to subjugate us, to defeat us, why will they be carrying out such things? It's simply because it's a sign of frustration. It's a sign of their ineffectiveness. It's a sign of defeat. Yes, the land doesn't belong to them. The people have rejected them. The soldiers, the ARFs, the Ambazonian Restoration Forces, are strongly resisting them and defeating them on a daily basis. So they are so frustrated. They've tried to do everything so as to manipulate the international community. In other words, seeking for international, what I would call, they're trying to make a pity party, right? To seek for some international sympathy so they can have more money to buy weapons. By the way, they are so bankrupt. Now, what I just wrote to you, I read to you, you will see that La République is reporting that many of their soldiers are missing. No, they are not missing, brothers and sisters. They are dead in Ambazonia. Let's keep the record straight. La République du Cameroun, Paul Biya, he will not send his son to go and fight for him. He's not going to send his tribesmen, his Ewondo, or how do they call them, Bulu people, to go and fight in Ambazonia. They will not do it because they know how fierce the battle is in Ambazonia. So what they are trying to do is, they are trying to take your sons and your daughters, deceive them as though they will pay them. Don't forget, they promised them insurance, life insurance. They promised their families life insurance. That if anything should happen to your son or your daughter who is a soldier, we will take care of you. We will pay you this and that. But think about it. La République is so bankrupt that there are soldiers that have died on the war front in Ambazonia. They cannot pay their families and they cannot give them the insurance they promised them. In other words, they have to look for means to cover up that story. What are they saying? They are saying that the soldiers are missing. Missing how? How are they missing? Come on, let's be real here. Tell them their children are dead. Tell them the Ambazonian Restoration Forces killed them. Be honest. But La République has never been a truthful nation. They can never tell the truth. So what would they do? They'll go out there and try to create narratives and stories to deceive people and tell them, hey, listen, the soldiers have deserted. The soldiers disappeared. They ran away. Where did they run to? Mind you, most of these soldiers don't even have a passport. Most of them don't have ID cards. Well, they do have ID cards, but they don't have passports. So they cannot run away from that country. But I want to pass this information as an advice to every Ambazonian family. I know because we've lived so long with La République, we mixed up with them. Our brothers got into their military system. But now, the country is divided. And some of these guys, most of them have truly deserted and they are under the Ambazonian Restoration Forces. If you are still working with La République du Cameroun, it's high time you take upon yourself the initiative and the decision to leave that God-forsaken military. They will use you, they will send you to Ambazonia to fight your own brothers because they believe you know the territory, you understand the language. But believe me, you will join Ikema Patrick. If you want to know where he is, try to do some Googling. If you love life, leave the military, the God-forsaken army of Dictator Biya. Leave the abuse. Leave that nonsensical army because they are the genocidal army. And they will be, listen, every one of them that will not die at the war front will be held accountable for their atrocious acts in Ambazonia. We are keeping record of everything they are doing. and you don't really want to face that track. You don't want to face the judgment of the people of Ambazonia. The truth is, any one of you who is still working for La Republique military, we will note you down. I mean, we'll trace down your families, we will know you. And I want to pass a general message to every Ambazonian. Trace down every family whose son is working in and for the military of La Republique du Cameroon. Trace them down. Write down their names. Give their description to the Ambazonian Restoration Forces. We will make sure that they will feel the pain of our people. This is a message that is going out as a warning and as a guardian's message, because I want you to preserve your life. I accept the fact that you worked for La Republique du Cameroon when we were one, when we were all in unity, when we were still part of them. But now we've separated. You cannot keep working for them against your own people. You cannot go to assist them in their genocidal acts against the Ambazonian people. Today is your last warning. If you love life, desert from that army. You see what they are doing? They will send you to war. When you die at the war front, they'll come and tell your families that you've disappeared. You ran away. They don't know where you are because they have nothing they can account. They can account for you. They cannot tell your families they send you to fight your own people and you were killed. So they'll form a story and say, hey, the guys disappeared. Listen, it's better for your own families to know where you are. Let your mother, let your wife, let your children, let your father, let your parents know where you are, rather than them getting a story from some idiots that they don't know where you are. Do they really think that you will leave your family, abandon your mother and father without any communication? Nobody does that. Nobody does that. Even if you are to run away, you will tell your fathers or your father and mother, your parents at least, that, or your wife, where you're going to, for her to keep it secret. But the truth is, when you see La Republique coming up and is trying to give a narrative as though the people disappeared, they just vanished, like vapor in the air, right? They vanished. No, 1,000 times no. These are fallen soldiers. So they don't want to pay their insurances because they are broke. They don't want to pay their families. So they will create a story to say they disappeared. They disappeared. They ran away. To where? No. Pabia sent them to go and die in Ambazonia and we killed them. Yes, we killed them because they came into our land to kill us. And in the act of self-defense, we killed them. And we will continue to kill them. We will not tolerate anyone that kills our mothers, our fathers, our children. No, our women. I will not tolerate that. So whosoever, any soldier, any bee, working for Dictator Biya against the people of Ambazonia to kill our people, I'm giving you the last warning of today. Listen, the Ambazonia Restoration Forces will crush you down. You don't want me to play some of the videos of your brothers and sisters and you see them lamenting and crying in pain while they are dying. These are the ones that Biya is telling you they have deserted. No, we killed them in act of self-defense. And I want to tell you, if you're coming into Ambazonia to perpetrate genocide, we will take you out. We will take you out. We will not allow you kill our mothers, our fathers, our children as young as baby matter. Never again. We shall never allow that nonsense take place again in Ambazonia. I am promising you, we will crush you. We will send you back in cups, in sacks. Either to your families or to Dictator Biya. But I know where you will go to, because Dictator Biya will never recognize you when you're killed. He will do what he's doing to the others. They will throw you somewhere. And this is so terrible. Listen, Biya will send his soldiers to go into Ambazonia. Ambazonian Restoration Forces will kill them. Biya will turn around to pretend. They collect the bodies of their soldiers. They do collect some of them. We've seen them coming over with helicopters to pick the bodies of their soldiers. The question is, what do they do with the bodies of these soldiers? They burn them and throw them into the ashes in the bushes or in the creeks. Why? Because they don't want to bear responsibility for the fallen soldiers. They are not even respecting you as a hero who fought for them. We, the people of Ambazonia, we respect every Ambazonian Restoration Force. That's why our president, His Excellency, Dr. Samuel Sako Ikomi, declared the 30th of November as the Ambazonia Heroes Day. And that's going to be a day that will enter into the history of Ambazonia. Every fallen soldier in Ambazonia is given a befitting burial with the flag and is respected as a hero But you're fighting for beer. He gives you 30,000 CFA a month. How much is that? Come on. Barely 50 euros a month. And when you die, you are not even buried like a hero. He goes around to deceive your poor family, to tell them you disappeared, you ran away. Where did you run to? Mr. Man, dear woman, this is the last warning if you love life. I am telling you, if you won't take this warning, you'll be regretting when you're on the other side. And I'll be laughing. We shall be laughing. What your wife is sufficient. But I also want to put this again because this is serious. Now, listen. When I got this message, I laughed. Look at what their newspapers are saying. They say Cameroon army hits by desertion. No, this is not true. No, they are not running. They have died in Ambazonia. Take it out. That's it there. That's the first one. Let me put another report. I think. Okay, let me put another report out there. See. Government in search of hundreds of deserted soldiers. Oh, some people know the nonsense. God have mercy. It's terrible. This is so terrible. I mean, it's a joke, right? I mean, it's so terrible that you would die fighting for dictator Biya, and in turn he will come and tell your family you ran away. I mean, just imagine these guys don't. Now, how would they even respect your life? Think about it. They are sending you to go and kill children, women, students, pupils, to kill young children. In other words, they don't respect the lives of these children. So now they are coming over to tell your families, you've lost, you disappeared, you deserted, you ran. Where did you go to? No, you've been killed. So if they don't respect the lives of children that they are sending you to go and kill, what gives you the guarantee that they will respect your own life when you die? Take example from your fellows that have died in Amazonia. They go around telling their families that they ran away. No, this is what you get when you work for a dictatorial regime. Biya has nothing good to offer. A watch your wife is sufficient. I just thought I had to make that announcement straight. And mommy and papa, them, if you watch me, take this serious because we will kill your Pekin. I'm telling you the truth. The Ambazonian restoration forces will crush your children that are working for dictator Biya to perpetrate genocide in Ambazonia. Full stop. What your wife is sufficient. I know you continue that talk. I don't talk. And now let me show you something about La Republique because I've been telling you La Republique has been crushed. Listen. La Republique have lost everything. They've lost everything. Literally everything. They are so broke. I mean it. Dictator Biya and his cohorts. La Republique du Cameroun is so broke that right now the only thing they've embarked on that they can use as a sustainability factor is deception, manipulation, falsehood. For instance, La Republique du Cameroun is trying to deceive the international community or the sports community that they can host the African Nations Cup. Do you know what they did? Take a look at what I'm going to put on the screen. Let me put up this thing. Take a look at what I'm going to put on the screen right now. Right? Biya Atanganji, the Minister of Terrorist Administration in La Republique du Cameroun, listen to what they did. They literally went out there, and this is terrible. This is terrible. Take a close look at what I'm putting on the screen right now. Let me decipher this thing to you. And I want us to look at this thing. La Republique is so bankrupt and destroyed. They've fallen so deep that they cannot even stand up. Take a look at this. Look at the encircled point that is in red. Now, this is a report on the 24th of March, 2017. I repeat, the 24th of March, 2017. Here you are having a report in French. Now, those of you who can understand French, you know what has been written there. They are saying that in Uganda, where they are talking about $500 million of China that have been given in for the infrastructures. Look at the picture now. I want you to take a look at the road picture that is down. Take a road picture that is down. Do you see it? Now, you see it? The picture I just put on the screen, and I'm going to put it again for the next 10 seconds. I want you to take a look at those things I was addressing. Take a look at the picture again. This is a picture of that was taken in 2017, where the Ugandans were proud of their road constructions. They were making a report of how they got some money from China, which actually I'm against of such kind of deals. But, well, let's not talk about Uganda. We're talking about Ambazonia, right? So they took money from China in Uganda to build roads. Now, they made a report about this, the images they used, 2017. I want to show you what CRTV used a few days ago. This is terrible. CRTV went and collected the same images and are deceiving their people that they are constructing roads in Bafoussam. Take a look at this. I'm putting this again on the screen. Look at the date that is encircled in red. Look at the text. Then look at the image. You see the tractors? You see the roads that they are building? Great. Okay. I'm putting something else on the screen. This is CRTV web. Look at the image that is down. Can you see the image? You see the image? Let me put the old one. This is the old one. You see the image of the old one? You see it? You see the date? 24th of March, 2017. Now look at this one. Look at the image down. CRTV is reporting about rehabilitation of urban roads in the West. Can you take a look at what is on the screen? Now they are reporting about AFCON 22. Right? Now they are trying to look at the report CRTV. Now, what is CRTV? CRTV is a national television station of La Republique du Cameroon. Right? Look at what they are writing. Look at the image they are using. Think about it. They actually went and stole the images that were used by a media organ in 2017 in Uganda. They stole that image, and La Republique du Cameroon have taken the image, put on their national website. Can you imagine how oh, this is hilarious. You can only, who does that? A nation. Who are they trying to deceive? La Republique will go and take images of Ugandans that are building their roads, and they are using it on their media organs to deceive their own people and the international community that they are building roads in the West. And they are building good roads that they can use to host the nation's cup, because they want the financial support from the sports community in order for them to be able to host the nation's cup. Now, think about that manipulative skill. These guys are trying to manipulate not just their people, but the international community. Think about that. Who does that? What credible nation would do such a thing? It's only a failed state. It's only a disgraced, the most primitive nation that ever existed on the planet Earth. That's understatement even. That's an understatement. If I say La Republique is the most primitive nation, I think I'm even giving them some credit, right? They are worse than a nation. That's not even a nation. They are worse than, oh my God. I lack words right now to describe them. But this shows you the level at which these guys are falling. And yet somebody wants to tell you that we should go and federate with them. Oh, you don't know how many times I've lied on my bed to ponder about the reality of things. And I sometimes I'll just sit and I'll take the phone and call my father. I say, Daddy, I want you to explain it to me. Did you really grow in this system? I want to be sure, because my brain cannot debug it. I cannot just conceptualize the idea, the thought that we lived with these people. Just living with them. I cannot just imagine that we, the people of Ambazonia, we live with La Republique du Cameroon together. Can you imagine a country that will go that low to lie, even using their, to the extent where they will use their national media houses to try to deceive their people and the international community? These are the same people that have been refusing that there was never an Anglophone crisis. When the thing escalated beyond their control, they are now seeking to do everything possible, using the same deceptive strategies to deceive the international community that they are in charge. They said there is peace and calmness in the northwest and southwest. But when their mayors and governors are going there, they go there in bulletproof jackets. And they want you to send your children to school. They want you to send your children to school in environments where they are not free to move there. They won't send their own children to even go to the streets. Can you imagine? Why are they doing that? Because they want to deceive the international community that they have control over this territory. The territory is still under their jurisdiction, that they are the ones governing. No, we own the land. If you are still dreaming, listen, La Republique has lost every autonomy, every control, every iota of control in the land of Ambazonia. No. If not, let them declare a ghost town and let's see who will respect it. You see. So I told you a few days ago that all they're trying to do is embark on these deceptive strategies to deceive you. And they are very good at that. Listen, these guys have practiced deception for more than 60 years. They deceived our forefathers, deceived our grandfathers. They will do everything to deceive these guys. They keep deceiving people and using them and then abandoning them. We are the never again generation. Never again generation. We are the never again generation. Never again. So sometimes it bothers me and I laugh about it when I see La Republique is trying to go around to bribe some activists, bribe some people, give them money, the Nick Santos, the Ayok Tabes, the whosoever, that they are trying to twist their mouth, twist their minds, and you hear them talk about the spatial status. Think about it. Nick Santos came out and made the bold statement that we should accept the spatial status La Republique is giving us. Think about it, La Republique du Cameroon. Such a primitive, God-forsaken nation want to give us special status on what grounds? Let me be real on this, right? The less educated person in Amazonia is better off than the most educated person in La Republique du Cameroon. Look at what is happening to their youths. They will give them on election period sardine and bread. Let me put it on the screen. They will give them sardine and bread and take their future for 7 years. That can never happen again in Amazonia. La Republique will give them sardine and bread and take their future away from them. And you want us to go and federate or live with those kind of people together? No. 1,000 times no. We are never again generation. I'm going to open the lines to take some of your calls on these issues because I would like to know what you think and I would like to know what is in your mind. But before we come into that, I want to give you those things I said I'll be giving you to take as a personal thought, to ponder over these things and to reflect over them. Listen, brothers and sisters. Now, when I look at this our liberation fight, I've noticed that a lot of people have been discouraged. Why have they been discouraged? They've been discouraged because of the things that are happening. They've been discouraged because some of them thought, oh, there is a lot of infighting. There is no infighting. And I'll tell you why. There is no infighting. Look at all the liberation fights or revolutions in the world where the people fought for self-determination. The fact is, you will always, and you've always have, enablers, sellouts. Those who've lost, who don't have the vision for the nation. Those who think just only about the belly. Those who serve the God of the belly. So what they want to do is, they just want to get themselves rich. They want to get money from the perpetrator of genocide to facilitate the genocide against their people. They don't care. They think it's a fast means of making money. Click on the share button as you join. And I want you to punch up some love sign for the Amber Voice platform, if you may, and if you can, of course. I want you to understand that it is not a strange thing. And you listen to the message that was given to us the other day from the professor of Somaliland. He said a couple of things that I can literally agree with. And one of those things I enjoyed was how he narrated their experience to that of Ambazonia. So we can see that we've made better steps and progress than they even did in this short period of time. So if anyone wants to deceive you to be discouraged that, oh, the revolution is failing, no, 1,000 times no. If you ever expected that this liberation fight will just move, it's just going to have a smooth flow without challenges, you are deceiving your own self. Tell me, have you ever achieved any success in your life? If yes, then you will know that every good thing comes with challenges. You will have challenges. You have even people in your own house. Do you know what the Bible says? That a man's own enemy are the people of his own household. That's why in this liberation fight, the greatest enablers are those who are part of us. They are taking money from La Republique du Cameroon, from the enemy, to facilitate the enemy's genocidal plan against us. So you and I, we cannot give up. I told you about the enemy's plan is to get you discouraged. So listen, we are winning. And every day when you get up in the morning, talk to yourself, we the people of Ambazonia, we are winning. Make it as a confession. Yes, we are winning. It is true. It is factual. It is there. You cannot deny it. When you see La Republique du Cameroon go around and is doing all what they are doing, they are trying to play these games. They are trying to manipulate the international community. They are trying to seek for where to beg for money to fight us. What does that mean to you? What does that tell you? It tells you that they've lost everything. They don't have the finance again to fight this war. Now, because they cannot pay their soldiers, they cannot pay the insurances of their soldiers, of their dead soldiers, fallen heroes. Or they are not even heroes, fallen soldiers. They will go around to create a manipulative strategy to deceive their families. Those are signs of a fallen nation. La Republique now is saying that they won't pay their soldiers. It's good news for Ambazonia. Because when the soldiers are not being paid, do you think they are going to carry the gun again and go to the streets? No, they won't. And we must increase on economic sabotage against La Republique to keep them bankrupt. They will keep falling deeper into the pit. They will keep falling and falling while we rise stronger and stronger by the day. And we'll only grow stronger by our mutual input and support for our boys and heroes. Yes, Ambazonia is rising to fall no more. Yes, Papa and Mami them. If any man be to deceive you, say this revolution don't fail. Now they tell you, say, we are rising to fall no more. Ambazonia is rising to fall no more. Yes, Dictatobia and La Republique is falling to rise no more. Think about it. La Republique that is falling, that is dying. They want you that is winning to be discouraged and to give up. Think about it. La Republique that is dying and falling by the days want you that is winning to give up. How are they doing it? They want the enablers to discourage you. They want the enablers to tell you things that will make you become discouraged. They want the enablers to deceive you with their words. I've told you that. I've explained these things on my previous shows. So if you missed those messages, go back and watch my previous shows, because I detailedly gave you the strategies and tactics of La Republique. But to round up, there are two things I want to give you. One, I started by saying that there are a lot of people that are being discouraged. Some have become weak and weary. It's not a problem. It's normal. We are humans, right? But you might be weak and weary, but you must not give up. You must not give up. The question I want to ask you, to you that is just weak and to you that is out there, if you look at social media, there's been this atmosphere of negativity. Some people have lost the focus of the vision. They don't know what we are fighting again now. Their enemies are their brothers and sisters. But I want you to understand something. Do you know, and this is a question I'm asking you, do you know that you have an enemy? Just think about that. Let that dawn on you. Do you know that you as an individual, you have an enemy? Do you know that you as a Southern Cameroonian, you have an enemy? Do you know that we collectively as Ambazonians, we have an enemy? And who is that enemy? La Republique du Cameroon and their neo-colonial master. That enemy is neo-colonialism. That enemy is dictatorship. That enemy is the hegemony of France and la Republique. I want you to understand that we have an enemy. That enemy are the soldiers of La République du Cameroon that are perpetrating genocide against our people and in our land. You have an enemy. Now, knowing fully well that you have an enemy, and that enemy is La République du Cameroon, and you know that your enemy is very active on daily basis to see that they hurt you and they harm you. See, La République and their soldiers, they are active on daily basis, devising mischievous strategies to hurt us Ambazonians, to harm us. I want you to know that. So, in that state, in that knowledge, with that knowledge, think about it. If you just go and fold your arms and you don't know nothing, you know that you have an enemy. You know that La République is your enemy. You know that Atanganji, Bia, the beasts, name them, Issa Chiruma, name them, the Mvodos. They are there on daily basis, devising mischievous strategies to ensnare us, to kill us. They are governors, they are prefects, they are SDOs. They are devising strategies on daily basis to kill you and to kill me. And somebody will come and tell you to be indifferent about that. Don't you think that is something that calls for a radical response? How do you think we can best respond to that, if not by defending ourselves? Are you aware of the fact that the enemy we have is fierce and is working hard to keep us in captivity? Yes, France is working hard to keep stealing from our natural resources. La République du Cameroon is working hard to serve us on the plate to France, to enslave us, to keep us in this slavery. They are working hard. All these things are happening. And you see when you see deviated activists, you see activists that have become deviated. The deviation of activists, the false accusations, and all these insults and etc. you see against your interim government, against your president, against me, against us that are fighting for the just cause. What do you think? They want to brainwash you against the truth. They want to make you feel bad against Dr. Saku, against the interim government. They want to brainwash you against the truth. And that's what La République is enforcing. They are financing. They are paying these individuals doing those things. That's their target. Why? Because La République is your enemy. And it will be very fatal not to recognize that you have this enemy and not to understand the strategies that your enemy is using to fight you. To ignorantly support them by believing their brainwashing stories. So we step up to knowledge. We step up to our resilience. We step up to the questions and the core values that binds us together. And the key things that motivate us to fight for freedom. And those things are, we love lives, we love justice, and we love truth. We hate genocide, we hate dictatorship, and we are standing for our freedom. So one thing I really want you to take this evening is, don't forget, you have an enemy. And that enemy is fierce. That enemy is working very hard to make sure he keeps you in captivity. And that enemy is La République du Cameroon. Number two, the agenda of that enemy is to destroy you and me. And they will do everything. They will do everything. They will take anything in their availability to make sure that they conclude these actions, to make sure that they achieve their goals. So what are you going to do? Are you just going to fold your arms? Are you just going to fold your arms and be quiet about it and allow them do their thing and allow them proceed with their agenda now that you know it? And the truth is, it's not just now that you know it. You know these things even before I say them. But some of you are becoming discouraged, and you don't. When we talk, I mean, you are discouraged. You don't want to do anything. You just try. So what? I mean, come on. What change are you going to effect if you allow your enemy to win? No, 1,000 times no. We are not the generation that will give up. I said we are the never again generation, not the generation that the non-chop is in. Listen, I don't fail. No, my name non-chop means success. Excellent success. So I can never be a failure in anything I'm involved in. I've never failed in anything I'm involved in. Never in my life. Never. And it's not going to start now. So we will see the victory, and we already seen the manifestation of the victory over La Republique. We see how we are crushing them and how they are falling down by the days. And we will keep growing in victory, in strength, in power, and in dominance over La Republique du Cameroon and over their genocidal armies. Ladies and gentlemen, before I open the line, I told you I'm giving you two things. You know, one thing that the Bible says, and I love, is that we should resist our enemies. Resist the devil, and he will flee. Because that devil comes to kill, to steal, and to destroy. Are those not the three things that La Republique is doing? To kill our people, to steal our natural resources, and to destroy our land? That's exactly what God says in the Bible. That the devil, the thief, comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And that's exactly who La Republique is, the enemy. They have come to steal our natural resources, to kill, and to destroy our land, Ambazonia. And what does the Bible say? The Bible says, resist the devil. Resist. Oh, self-defense sounds to me like resistance. You know, so many men of God and Christians, they don't even know how to apply the word of God in their practical day life. They just believe you go to church and they don't even know how to apply the word of God in that which concerns them. The word of God is a manual for life that God has given us for this world, for our life and beyond. So the truth is that La Republique du Cameroun is a thief. They've stolen our lives, our natural resources. They are killing our people, and they are destroying the futures of our generation. They've destroyed the futures of many people. Look at the over 15,000 young people that have been killed. They've destroyed futures. Think of the close to 200,000 internal and externally displaced people, refugees in Nigeria and in other neighboring countries and in other parts of the world. Those are futures that have been displaced. Resist the devil. And to me, that sounds like self-defense. How do you resist the enemy when you don't defend yourself? You have to defend yourself. So this self-defense we are embarking on, this Amber War draft, is a self-defense and is the right thing to do. It's a strategy that you and I must encourage and embark on. That's why, listen, if anybody is telling you not to draft, you look at the EPOM, the Eritatos, the Mark Beratas, the Ayoktabes, listen to, because they don't even have a strategy. They don't have a strategy. They have nothing to offer. That's why they are against the Amber War draft. That's why they are against you drafting. And the worst of all is, these guys have lost every iota of shame. They don't say these things privately. You know, there are some things that even if you say them privately, you should be ashamed of yourself. They have the guts to come online. Somewhere like Epom, Mark Arata, Tapang, they have the guts to come online and make shows to deceive the Ambazonian people. Because, by the way, they've taken these people to be stupid. They are the ones that are supporting the genocidal regime to say that the children should go back to school in the war zone. And we are seeing what is happening. They are the ones that are supporting Dictator Biya, who is calling us Anglophiles. And they are the same ones that are talking to you and taking you for a fool. They are telling you that you should not defend yourself amidst this genocide. They are telling you that you should not draft for the war against La Republique. Why? Because they know that when you do that, you are imputing great damage and pain upon the genocider. You see, that's a simple game. That's a simple truth. And we must make sure we crush La Republique in the territory of Ambazonia. It is your responsibility, it is my responsibility that we must defend our widows. We must defend our mothers and fathers, the widowers, the children, the boys and girls, the students. Imagine our boys and girls had enough weapons, RPGs. La Republique soldiers will not just move into our schools and shoot our brothers and sisters who are trying to learn. We must make sure we dominate La Republique in every sphere in Ambazonia. Burn down their offices, burn down their investments, everything that belongs to them. We are going to make sure we RPG those things. And listen, you know, Some people, they talk for shout, but I talk and do. Let me leave it at that. Let me leave it at that. So the next thing I'm giving you before I open the lines for calls, remember the first thing I said is that you have to be aware that we have an enemy. You have an enemy, and that's La Republique. Listen, if your enemy should win, if La Republique should win, think for once, if La Republique should win, which they can never. So it's a conditional statement, but it can never be because we have already won them. Spiritually and physically, it's manifesting. But if it should have been a case where they would have won us, do you know what would have been of us? Now they will go out to boast that they defeated us militarily. Now before then, Biya said it in France that they had looked for means to do what? To annihilate us, to eradicate us. But they didn't succeed. Now he's trying to do it publicly and militarily. He's not succeeding. But if he had succeeded, that would have been the end of us. So some of you might be in the diaspora and you're thinking, oh, come on, I'm here, nobody knows, I'm not involved, my name is not on any wanted list. I don't care. They can want me and unwant me. I don't care. My name's all over in all their newspapers and TVs, most wanted. Do you think I'm moved by those idiotic actions? Those are signs of a desperate dying man. You're moving around, putting somebody's faces on newspapers, searching for him, searching for his investments. What? Gone are those days, man. No, 1,000 times no. So what I want you to understand is, you have an enemy, and that's La Republique. And you must defeat your enemy. Nobody will live in life seeing that he has a fierce enemy who is fighting to see him down and gives up. No, you fight back to make sure you defeat your enemy. And if it's going to be a constant war until the end of our lives, we will do it. Because we are not cowards. The second thing I want to take on before we go is, whatsoever you're doing, one thing you need to understand, or we need to understand, is that as we live on this earth, we are operating in the realm of time. So whatsoever you and we are doing on earth, we should know that it's bound within a specific time frame. I explained this in one of my shows, and I believe a lot of people understood it. But let me assume that you were not there, and let me use the next 30 seconds to explain something to you. Listen, we humans on earth, that we live in this flesh, we operate in time. We operate in time. The only person that doesn't operate in time is God, because he lives in eternity. That's why God does, if you're a Christian and you believe in God, ask yourself this question: how old is God? God does not have age, because he lives in eternity. So you cannot say how old is he. You cannot measure him in time frame. But we humans, we live in time. We are bound to a beginning and an end. That's time. Those are units of measurements for time. We talk about the seconds, minutes, hours, days, months, years, durations. Those are measurements of time. And anything we want to do, we are given a certain time frame to fulfill it. Why am I saying this? Let me bring this to the Ambazonian revolution. Listen, we've said that we are the never again generation, and I'm very proud of us because we've been able to achieve that our forefathers could not. We have restored our independence, and no one can take that away from us. The point here is, if we allow these enablers to distract us, we mingle with them, we play with them, what that will do to us is, it will consume our time. It will consume our time, but it will not stop the destiny. You get it? The children of Israel wandered in the desert, and those corrupt ones died. They never made it to the promised land, even though they were the ones that originally got the promise for the promised land. So they never used their time wisely. They were murmuring and fighting, and this one said, oh, Moses cannot lead because he's a stammerer. This one said Miriam is the one that can lead because she was very energetic and very zealous. There was the same, like what is happening to us. This one said it's a Yaba, he prefers. This one says it's a Kwanga. This is history repeating itself. These things are not strange to us. Even in the Bible days, they happened. So what am I trying to say? I want us to be conscious of the fact that we are growing or we are living within a time frame. If this our generation, if we are not going to fight hard to make sure we fulfill the task given to us, our time will expire. But our children and grandchildren will continue the fight. So it's our choice, right? Are we going to allow the enablers of our days to hinder us from the victory we are seeing in front of us? You know what I'm talking about. So it's time for us. I said to have enablers in a revolution is not a strange thing, but the bad thing is to live with them. What your wise is sufficient. Understand what I'm trying to say? It's time for the enablers to know where they belong, and for them to know that we will treat them as our enemies, and for us to act accordingly. On the other hand, we should also be conscious of the time. We should be conscious of the time. Let's stop wandering around. It's time for us to break forward and move into our land. So, one of those strategies, it's easy to say these things, but we must implement the strategies to make these things become fulfilled. How? The war draft is one of the strategies. Because the enabler cannot go in, the occupier cannot go in and marching around and moving freely in the land. We need to kick out the occupier, and we need to handle that as a matter of urgency. I'll round up by saying, did anyone discourage you from drafting? Did anybody try to deceive you that your draft is something that somebody's going to eat? Don't forget, you are the one giving the money to your county to save your own people from your county. So the county by county, the LGA by LGA. By the way, LGA means local government area. So in this Amber Peace Plan strategy that has been implemented, we must make it become fully functional and effective on ground zero. I see a lot of you, you're complaining, you want to see actions. Actions are being carried out with materials. And materials, of course, are resources that must be acquired or purchased. For us to purchase them, we need the finance. And that's where your war drafting comes in. Fellow Ambazonians, fans and friends of Mr. Nanchop, Papa and Mamide. When I know I sabi get plenty things for talk, but since na Amber voice, I want to end them for here today and for encouragement. When we think about these two things, we get an enemy and we are working on time. We get an enemy where they fight against we, and we are also working on time. Mono the delay, mono the draw skin for do what you want to do. Arise. Papa and Mamide. My brother, arise. My sister, arise. Shake off the shackles of your eyes. Shake off those, sometimes a lot of lies and brainwashing don't take place for a lot of people. Their brain, they don't confuse. Listen, go wash your face. Clear off those scales, your eyes. See the reality. Biya is willing and wants to kill us. France is supporting him. So we must stop the enabler. We must make sure we stop the occupier. We kill him before they kill us. This is a fight for our existence, right? And we must make sure we don't give up. So let me put the number on the screen. I think the number is already on the screen. A patriotic message to all Ambazonians and a big blow to Dictator Biya and La Republique du Cameroon. We talked about that. We talked about how they are feeling, how their soldiers are deserting, and how many of them are being killed in the war in Ambazonia. And La Republique du Cameroon is trying to make up a frame-up story from it by deceiving her own people. And it's telling them that, no, they disappeared. How would they disappear? So they've become vapors that they now just get up and disappear. This is terrible, man. But, well, you know what? They say we are 2 cubes of sugar. We are going to show them that we will not dissolve. The lines are open for calls. Let me see. Let's get some few callers. I want those from ground zero. So, okay. So, wonderful people of the beloved nation of Amazonia. I want to also make make it clear that my number has changed. I mean, look at the number on the screen. If you're not having this number, I know many of you have my number. And it's sometimes I surprise that a lot of you watch my shows and you don't take note of the numbers on the screen. So if you're to call, please use this number on the screen and call on WhatsApp. And also, to those of you who are having my US number, please, the number is, I don't have that number again. So you want to reach me now through my German number, that is it on the screen. You can call me on direct line. You can call me on WhatsApp. Please do. And most of you are saying you want to write me on my page and you're saying that, oh, you've been trying to call me, you write me a message on the other one. Perhaps you wrote to the old number and it's not more active. The number is not active. And you might be angry at me. Please don't be offended. Don't be angry at me. If you write me a message and I haven't responded, try to rewrite me again or call me, I beg. Or we are so we operate on time. Or we'll get at 24 hours a day. And this young man is a very busy young man and I'm trying to keep the equation balanced. So great, wonderful. I am going to play Field Marshal's song. I promise you guys that Field Marshal's song, we must sing the song of Field Marshal because that's a great warrior and a great soldier and I love what he's doing. And while I'm putting that song on the screen, we have 11 more minutes to go and I wish to have some callers, most especially from Ground Zero, so we can get some of your greetings. Tell us what is happening. Share with us your opinions on the things we just discussed about. And as I said, listen, Ambazonia is rising to fall no more. Let's hear what Phil Masha is saying.
Hey.